thing right here?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Is letting all the people know
Ooh, what's that?
what burnouts talk about.
Yeah, what did they talk about, baby?
You know, the chronic. Check it out. Ooh, that bud so scandalous. You hit it too hard, you can't handle this. So you're smoking that thing, then you pass it to us with that look in your eyes so devious. You inhale with all you got. Suck it down hard till you see and dots. And your body's on the ground, but your mind is not. Cause you...
Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
You put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
VIP, me put it in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. It's all a hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.
All out here for a pill. Really tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
What up? What up? 420 Fantasy Hustler back at you. We got our weekly wake and bake going. We got Bogey in the building. We got my man AJ in the building, repping FFT Fantasy. What's going down, guys? About to get real high this morning. But pre-show, I kept lighting up the herb iron. I kept like wanting to hit the bowl, but we're gonna save the first one for when we're live here. And let's shout out everyone in the chat. And
guilty of hitting one before.
Yeah. You're in tech. You're in Central.
He's in parts unknown.
You're in Central.
Parts unknown. Parts unknown.
From parts unknown.
Yeah, not even high, and already slipped on something that I said.
He literally warned me through text. He's like, listen.
And Ron said, "Yeah, already wake and baked. Let's go." Yeah, Ron on the East Coast. You better be wake and baked already.
Hey, Ron, I seen him, Brett. His alarm goes off at 5:45, and he reaches for the pipe. He's just in the bed.
His first breath comes with THC in it.
Yes.
And
Ron ain't even brushed his teeth yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Classic line from one of the songs from the Mary Jane Junkies, local San Diego group. But I always wanted to say I hit that Swisher Sweet before I brush my teeth.
Yeah, man.
And Antonio in the building. What up, homie? Crispy in the building. What up? Who else we got up in here? And Crispy said Bogey can't find the shrooms. What up, Chase? What's going down, bro?
Yeah.
Albert, what up? And then let me see. There we go. All right. So
morning.
I don't even know necessarily what we're going to talk about yet, but we're about to smoke. Throw it in the chat what you're smoking on. Damn it. And so I have like 4 flavors here, but I threw them all in jars and like I forgot to label them. So I got a few different types of things, but not exactly sure what I'm smoking at any given moment. All indicas, though. I do know that. And what do you got over there? Anything special?
You're talking to me? Some bud I got from parts unknown, places unknown.
There we go. He's back.
My bad. The Matrix is it's a crazy place.
I know you were gone. You were gone for 60 seconds, but how long were you actually gone?
I mean, several months.
So so one of the spoilers that I'll give from this Lightyear movie is pretty trippy because it made me think of Bogey right off the bat going into the Matrix. When he goes into space and everyone's still like on this planet, it's like he's gone for like 4 minutes, but it ends up being like 4 years.
Yeah. You ain't see, bro. I've aged terribly since I was gone.
Yeah, your beard got a lot bigger. I noticed. And Ron said, I'm smoking on some trippy gorilla and I'm loving it. Ron, man, he said he upgraded his stash yesterday. Went to the dispensary, spent a couple extra bucks on some kind that he never really gets. He said he was high school high yesterday. He's like, man, I'm stupid fucking high right now. I love it.
All last week, I had a pack of 20 pre-rolls, and it was some diamond infused shit. Bro, I was stupid high all fucking week, bro. Like, it was like terrible because like I love being that high, but when I have shit to do, you know what I mean? I'm like, I wasn't as quick on the draw as I like to be. You know what I mean?
I love being that high till I'm at work and I'm like, fuck, I'm not high. Literally.
I got shit to do today.
Get high scores.
Right. Yeah, what is it? Study high, take the test high, get high scores.
There it is.
Right. Yeah, Chase says he's got that green crack shit. Feels like an energy drink. I like it. Need some
I like it
in the morning.
Green crack, headband, blue dream. I remember that era, bro. That era was dope.
Train wreck.
Bubba Kush. There was all in that era. You know what I mean? That era actually.
Jack Herrera. Can't forget about Jack Herrera. That was so.
Oh yeah,
such a staple. Man,
I'll still get like, you know, I fuck with the Stizzy pods.
Yeah,
and I'll fuck with Jack because, like, you know, sometimes that's the only like pure sativa they have is the Super Jack. You know what I mean? Because I like hitting the pen and it's sativa because it's like I'm just out and about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I mean, sativa really do. They really do. People that don't like sativa, they say, "Oh, it makes me paranoid," but they're mistaking paranoia for extra awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the mind's working way too good. So what's happening?
Yeah.
If you think you're paranoid, then you're paranoid. So don't think you're paranoid.
Hey, they say paranoid. I say precautious.
I
know, it's funny. I saw this. But
the weed hits everyone different. Some people just makes them hella anxious. It's just them.
That's usually sativa, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had this friend who, like, he was. It's weird because I heard this story in a movie, and then one of my friends tells me about it too. So I don't know if you guys remember that movie Bully from back in the day, and pretty sure it's like Brad Renfro or something who's like the main character or some shit, and he's telling his girlfriend a story about like the first time he got high and how his friend got him like hella high and he was so paranoid, and he goes home and goes under the blankets and like pisses himself that he's like so high. And then one of my friends tells me that exact same story of how that happened to him, and that's why he doesn't smoke anymore. I'm like, damn, just sounded like you needed to smoke a couple more times than you would have gotten past that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You really know you're high when you take a dump in your bed. Yeah, he wasn't high enough.
Amber Heard.
Hey, Amber Heard is a sociopath.
That takes shits in bed, bro. It's wild. It's wild.
We never talked too much about that. We said that we were gonna have a show about that, but we never really did it. So
it's funny because
leave me out. The most I know is that she shits in beds. That's all.
I know that too. Okay, give me some of that info. And
all right. So look at
it. Juicy this morning.
So Johnny Depp is a baller.
Oh,
he has planes, motherfucking all kind of cars, hella properties. He has a whole island. You know, for to put things in perspective, he has a Johnny Island where, like, you know what I mean? He has, you know, a compound and like a little village there, and like he just brings people there and they party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is all for context because she wanted all that. You know what I mean? She's very abusive, you know what I mean, verbally, you know what I mean, physically. Yeah. Like she's the type like that'll like start some shit with him and then like pop him in the nose, you know what I mean? Like just you know, throw shit at him, and like if he 100% of the time tries to leave when she's like, you know, in this behavior, you know what I mean? And like, so, and then, you know, obviously both their lawyers advised them to start recording shit because she's claiming, you know, he's abusive, this and that. And like, you know, he's over here like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So they're secretly recording each other for like a year. You know what I mean? And a lot of the recordings is her just talking about how she just whooped his ass. You know what I mean? Oh, you're such a baby, Johnny. Just grow up, Johnny. You're a fucking baby. And he's like, well, you fucking punched me in the nose. I didn't punch you, Johnny. I hit you. I'm sorry I didn't punch you with the right motion, Johnny.
I only stabbed you with the fork like I did Seth Rogen. He was a man.
Yeah,
Oh
like,
my god.
she like, and like, or like, then that's his recording, right? Then when you check out her recordings, it's so obvious she's trying to get things to use. Like, she'll start recording after they just fought. So then he's like, leave me alone, don't touch me. She's like, oh, don't leave, Johnny, don't leave. But you always do this. You always want to run away from the fight. And then he's like trying to push her out the way. And this is an audio recording. And she's like, why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing me against the wall? Why are you grabbing me like that? Why? It's like trying to detail everything over the top. And then she submits that as evidence. You know what I mean? And it clearly sounds like a woman who's out of her mind. That really, you're out of your mind if you believe that people will be convinced by this shit. And like, she was
really convinced just because she was a woman that she wasn't gonna get anything charged against her.
And there you go, AJ. There it is right there. Because back in 2016, she files. First of all, there's a recording and text messages where he's telling her he's gonna leave her. Because
they're actually they're married, right? Like officially.
Yeah, they were married.
Okay.
So he's like, and that's another thing too. When they got married, she would make this whole thing about him getting plastered too much. She made him go to rehab, and then like, so he goes to Johnny Depp's like a tough motherfucker. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get my doctors, and then I'm gonna go to my island, you know, and get sober. And she's there, like not giving him his medicine because when you're like addicted to opiates and shit like that, you got to take some certain type of shit to wean you off.
Yeah.
And like, so he's having like mad withdrawals, and she's just like withholding the motherfucking medicine. Like, oh, here, can you get it? Can you, like, that type of shit? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then she's like, oh, well, it's tough love. Like, she just has all these, you know what I mean? And anyways, getting back to it, he tells her, listen, I'm gonna divorce you. You know what I mean? This is it. And like, he's in like a movie premiere in Spain.
Hustle Spy.
Yeah, and so this is 2016. So he's in a movie premiere. She goes to the fucking courthouse in LA, right, to get a restraining order. And like, they had fought like a couple days before that. You know what I'm saying? Where like she called the cops and like they came and no one's hurt. She even has some friends there, but no one's hurt. The place is like, there's like some spilled wine on the floor. And then like the first cops, they don't even walk around the house. They're like, all right, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And they leave.
Then, you can already tell that the call was bullshit.
Yeah. They came and they seen it was bullshit. There's nothing here. She looked like her face was red and puffy from crying because she was crying. And then the cops leave. Her and her friends, they trashed the house. Then they call the cops again and they try to do it again. You know what I mean? This time, there's a report that's filed. Mind you, he's in this motherfucking Spain now. I mean, a couple days later, he's in Spain, and he's like, all right, listen, I'm gonna divorce you. She goes to the courthouse, files for a restraining order, right? But she has a fat bruise on her face. Oh, shit. And like TMZ, everybody's there. And she walks out of the grandiose staircase, in the front of the courthouse in LA. And then all the paparazzis are on one side because they're instructed that she has some type of bruise and it's on the right side of her face. So you want to be there to catch the money shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, these are the shit that go out on fucking all the magazines, everything. And then all the websites. And then immediately Disney drops Johnny Depp. So when they drop him from that franchise, it's like estimated like another 500 million he would have made just from like, you know what I mean, the next movie and all the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
Crazy.
yeah, and then like
they said, wasn't she spotted at TJ Maxx recently?
Yeah, I mean the bitch is broke, but I think that's all. I think that's all theatrics because, like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, okay, I'm gonna use this, make people feel sorry for me because she's the type of person when she was with Johnny Depp. The fact that she was with Johnny Depp, she would call Gucci and call Louis and call Christian Dior, call all these motherfuckers because she can get free clothes because she's gonna be photographed in those clothes by paparazzi all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like part of Johnny had like several penthouses in one building. So she had one of them she gets the restraining order. Then she sends Johnny's lawyers a demand like, hey, I'm filing for divorce, or, you know what I'm saying, we can keep this quiet and you got to give me all the penthouses. I want the Range Rover. I want, $25,000 a month allowance. Like, she was asking for some alimony type shit. You know what I mean? And like, he was like, fuck all that. You know what I mean? And then she releases a video, like an actual video of Johnny Depp, right? And this is when he found out he lost $100 million because he had a crooked ass accountant. You know what I mean? And Johnny Depp, he will smooth spend $100 million in a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's that guy. Just flying the jets around like that. So he's really pissed. And so there's a video. It's a fucking, and you can probably find this on YouTube. It's Johnny Depp beating up cabinets, but it's like there's a full length version where it shows her setting up the laptop, you know what I mean, or the camera or whatever it is, the phone.
While he
comes in, and she's like, what's wrong? He's already tearing the house up.
Yeah.
He comes in the kitchen. She's like, what's wrong? What happened? Like trying to play dumb. And he's just tearing the cabinets up. And he's, getting the wine bottles and smashing them and fucking, he's so fucking hot. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the video, see, even at one point, she even tries to she covers the camera because he's walking towards that direction. Like she's consciously doing this, you know what I mean? And then at the end of the video, she snarls. Like she's like, I got him, you know what I mean? And then she's like, oh, he's an abuser, this and that. And first of all, there was picture, like I said, she had the bruise on her face. There was pictures every day for the next 3 days of paparazzi on her because she's a hot thing now, right? It's a hot topic. The Me Too movement was, roaring strong. She was using that as a shield, bro. The motherfucking Me Too movement. So now to make the long story longer, the bitch goes, the bitch is being photographed for days after, no bruise. You know what I mean? No fucking bruise. You know what I'm saying? And then now all of these allegations, all the shit that happens to Johnny, the European, I think it's the British Sun, right? That's it's a publication. They write an article about Johnny Depp being a wife beater. He sues, so he go ahead and he sues the Sun. And so now the court is in Europe, and this is not a jury trial. It's the judge is gonna lay down the judgment, and the motherfucker wears the white wigs and everything, bro. It's trippy out there. You know what I mean? That's nice. Check this out. They, she testifies against him, and then all her friends that are all not credible because they're all on drugs like her, they all testify and corroborate these stories about him whooping her ass. You know what I mean? And so he loses that shit and then has to pay her $7 million. This bitch, now she used, mind you, when she filed for that restraining order, it was the day that Aquaman was released, and she was in Aquaman. And Aquaman is the highest grossing DC film ever. You know what I mean? Damn near $1 billion or something like that, or $1 billion, right? And she plays the love interest. She's a really terrible actress. All you have to do is just see her in interviews and see her anywhere. Everything she's trying to act.
Go watch Pineapple Express. I'm sure that's a perfect example of her character in real life.
And she was she's a 22-year-old playing a high schooler at the time. You know what I mean? Because she's only a year younger than me. You know what I mean? So I remember when that movie came out. But anyways, so now this bitch, she's part of one of the biggest movies. You know what I mean? And she's the face of the Me Too movement. Johnny Depp is nowhere to be found. Then they lose this, Johnny Depp loses the trial in 2019. So that really fucks his name up. You know what I mean? Because now it's here's a judge. And what's crazy is the judge had some type of correlation to the writer of that article. So it was like just a total unfair, like no context. No, he didn't get a chance. You know what I mean? He got destroyed by a bitch with a diabolical plan. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then so somewhere in 2018, you know, before that trial, she wrote an article. Amber Turd wrote an article about her being, you know, saying like representative for women of abuse, and like she was just a whole article about how she's a victim and how like, you know, she it was her last marriage. She never says Johnny Depp's name, but she continuously refers to the last marriage, this and that. So now that is all the buildup to what brings Johnny to suing Amber Heard for this article published by the Washington Post. And the person who published it, that article, is her name. Her name is like Eve Lombardi or whatever, or Eve Bardo. And this bitch is Amber's friend in real life. You know what I mean? So like they were responsible for putting out a ton of you know, like slander articles on Johnny over the years. You know what I mean?
So let me get it right. So he sued her, and then she like countersued. Is that
what
happened?
So they for defamation. So
okay.
He sued her for defamation because her writing that article, he hasn't been able to get anything, any kind of job, any kind of work. And he was suing her for $50 million because this is what the number they conjured up that they feel is the good estimate for what he lost in that time period, right? Yeah. So, like a true sociopath, this bitch countersues him for defamation and for $100 million. But what's crazy is they're when you're presenting your case, you have to compile, you know, the reasoning and all the different avenues of why you think this number is reasonable. Like Johnny Depp's team,
like he actually has like movies that, you know, maybe he was up for or whatever. And
exactly. Like he had lost roles. WB dropped him. Like he got dropped from the Harry Potter spinoff. You know what I mean?
Oh dang.
These are like big franchises where like you could prorate it. Like, you know, if he did this movie, he would have made X amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's in 3 Harry Potter movies. I'm sure that's going to be somewhere in the 50 million range.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
yeah.
And like, it's so crazy because then it's just both
moral
sides.
Moral of the story is bitches be crazy.
Like both sides bring in their evidence of what's proof why they were the abusee, not the abuser. You know what I mean? And like, here's some of Amber's evidence. It'd be like the lawyer would be like, Johnny Depp is an alcoholic. He's a drug addict. You know, he always has these spells of blackouts. Let's show you this evidence. And it's a picture of Johnny Depp. He's just passed out on the concrete, like by his pool. Right? And they're like, what? Do you know what this picture is, Johnny? And Johnny's like, yeah, that's me passed out. And you're like, or me asleep. And they're like, asleep or passed out? Because they were trying to like,
they're trying to paint a picture that he's like some crazy drug addict.
Yeah, that'll get blacked out and then whoop her ass. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then here's the thing: is like they try to paint Amber as like a super goody two shoe.
What up, DJ?
Like, what up? So check us out. Like I told you, she was awarded $7 million. Right?
He said he never realized that she was the chick in Pineapple Express. I didn't know that until
I'm not saying anything because I don't know anything about any of this.
Look
to be honest.
I didn't know who Amber Heard.
Just listening, learning.
I didn't know who the fuck this bitch was, right? And I just knew, like, I just heard the name because she was fucking with Johnny Depp, one of the goats. You know what I mean? So check us out. They're watching this case. You know, like, you know, you'll be able to look up the list of witnesses they're gonna call. They had James Franco on there. Because apparently she cheated on him with James Franco. He never showed up for her. He declined last minute, like that he's not going to testify for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, because they had all kind of, you know, Johnny's team had all kind of evidence, like, oh, so you weren't exactly, faithful to Mr. Depp. And he's like, yes, I was. I never cheated on him. Oh yeah, let's show you this evidence, and it's fucking, you know, video footage from the goddamn the security cams in his, you know, in his penthouse suites. You know what I mean? They have the elevators. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's her and James Franco. There's other ones that they never had to show, but apparently there's some with Elon Musk too, because she was fucking with some big wigs, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Not just Johnny Depp. She was fucking with Elon. And like, it's so crazy because she's just trying to get the bag. Like, apparently her baby that she just had through a surrogate was embryos that were impregnated by what's his name? By Elon Musk. So she's just like this super advanced, high level sociopathic gold digger. You know what I mean? Because like, so check this out. She also, Johnny's team, he had a psychiatrist that sat with her during the time that like Johnny was trying to get clean or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's several psychiatrists that sat with her. So they had notes on her, you know what I mean? And all her different diagnoses. So then they had a paid expert, which is one thing that like lawyers will always try to discredit. Oh, your witness is a paid expert, but they had a paid expert that spoke on behalf of Johnny, and it was she was hot too, but it was a psychiatrist, and she's certified and all kind of shit. She actually sat with Amber Heard, like in total it was like 12 hours of sitting with her, and she diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder. You know what I'm saying? So this is like for context, like, because my girl works in mental health, so she broke this down for me. You know what I'm saying? When you're bipolar, you know what I'm saying? Bipolar is like extreme highs, extreme lows. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you could suffer from bouts of depression for like days on end. And then like, you know, then you can feel like super manic. You know what I mean? And like, you know, extreme highs, like, hey man, I'm feeling good. Let's go to Vegas and blow our fucking life savings. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that. There's no in between. When you're borderline personality disorder, you're going through these bouts like fucking in an instant. You know what I mean? Like 1 minute you could be like, you know, oh, woe is me. And the next minute, like, woo, feeling really good. Let's go do something. Let's go snowboarding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just and that's what she is.
And that totally sounds like her character in Pineapple Express. I remember them like on the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
Listen. She goes from being like super upset to like, you know, and then like Seth Rogen like crying, and then like her like, let's just get married then. And
I mean, listen, I barely hate people. I really gotta know somebody to hate them. You know what I mean? And unless your name's like that god awful Will Offler, because I hate that motherfucker. Fuck you, Will Offler the fifth, right? And Mark Ingram, fuck him too. Jared Cook too, fuck him too. But Amber Heard, I felt like I got to know her through the course of this trial. I was glued to this shit for like 6 weeks. And then like my YouTube since then is just full of like different people's breakdowns, because people just, you know, so many people use this as a launching pad for their channels, because like if you were covering this shit, like you're getting in that algorithm, you know what I mean? And like what's crazy is Johnny Depp's team was so smart. Like they had this hot lawyer, what's her name? Her name was Camille Vasquez, right? I think she's like Mexican and like Guatemalan or something like that. But and just super bad bitch, hella good, super good. You know what I mean? And like anytime it was Amber on the stand, they would put Camille on there, because Camille is like, you know what I'm saying? She's hot. She seems like, you know what I mean, very together. And then, because that's what Amber is trying to be, you know what I'm saying? And like, and then if you would have had like Johnny's the other lawyer, like this dude's like Ben Shue or whatever, he's like 6 feet plus, you know what I mean, tall. He's like a bigger dude, you know what I mean? It would seem to the jury like they're bullying her, you know what I mean? Because Amber is the bully, and like it's so crazy because she can't hide it, like her personality disorder. She can't fucking hide it. Like she'll be on the stand, and then like the bitch will be like, yeah, and you know, you always love to be the victim. You love to be the victim. Ain't that right, Miss Heard? She's like, I never played victim. Like just she would get snarling and it'd be like, whoa. And then like she would fake cry, and it's so funny because tears would not one tear, not until the verdict came out and she lost did we ever see any tears. And that's the thing too, is like when you're narcissistic, you only cry for yourself. You know what I mean? Because that bitch is a narcissist. And like she would like fake cry and look at the jury, like so, like she would almost treat Camille Vasquez as she was the help. You know what I mean? Like she's white, you're colored, like looking down at her every time. She wouldn't look at her when the bitch would talk to her, and then when she would give her answers, she would stare at different members of the jury. And it's crazy because people from the jury came out like saying that, like, you know, that shit was really uncomfortable. Because, you know, when you're a jury, your job is to sit there and observe observe the people on the stand. You know what I mean? And like when that person is constantly like looking at you, trying to like get you to, you know, trying to sell it to you, like it was just pathetic as fuck. Like even it's almost like she went to the phone book, like didn't know how to approach it. Let's go to a phone book, like, you know what I mean, and find a lawyer, like, cause like her team of lawyers were just trash, bro. Like they were their defense was like, we're countersuing because it's not defamation of character, it's freedom of speech. And so, freedom of speech, bro. Like it was, and then like they had several pictures of Johnny tearing shit up, like the aftermath, right, of what they claimed Johnny tore the room up. You know what I mean? And then she would never have pictures of her fucked up, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never have pictures of her fucked up.
Well, of course.
Like,
not.
okay.
Always pointing the camera the other way, anyways. All right. Well, you know what? No more Amber Heard. I've had enough of her. We got a question in here from Truth, Justice, and Honor. Said, since marijuana has been legalized in some states, can a person still be charged for it if they found out they did it before it was legal? I guess it all depends on the
limitation, man.
Yeah, what is it? 10 years or 7 years or some shit like that.
I mean, listen, but give me an
example. Like not killing somebody, like that's different.
Yeah, murder doesn't have a statute of limitation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, shit, like what is like they used to sell it?
I mean that. Let me see. Let me scroll down a little.
Yeah,
bit.
I just don't think.
Like what? Like they used to smoke it? Hey, listen, man, we have
definitely not for smoking. Nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah.
It's not illegal to be high. It's just illegal to get if you get caught with all your shit before you take it.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me see. And it said, I mean, what if there was video evidence that they didn't use? Well, if it's not like if there's no warrant or anything on that video evidence, like they can't use it anyways.
Yeah, I don't see any instance where they can use video evidence to indict someone for smoking. I don't know.
Yeah, he said, oh, what if there's video that you were cultivating it? Unless you get caught with those plants that you have, like
I think even states it's legal to have plants now. I think even in Cali you can have.
He's talking about like states where it's like still 100% like illegal, or no. Well, states that got legalized, yeah. I don't know, yeah. And like I mean, California, for example, you're able to have plants as a medical patient since like '96. It didn't go fully legal until 2018. So there was 22 years where people could still have plants, and if you had a medical card, you could have like 6 per person. Yeah, let's see. There's a whole bunch going in here. We were talking about Amber Heard and all this trial, and now we got a whole bunch of comments in here, you know, going around this. And let's see. I'm trying to find. Let's see if there's any that we can go to. But yeah, and he said no. It's a bit to do with the Mexican Civil War. Let me see. Yeah, pot laws were always. I mean, weed laws were always like against minorities. Like, let's see. Yeah, here it goes. Chase said the DEA to be cut in the 1930s, so they charged cannabis to justify existing. They literally said weed makes people insane and pointed the finger at it. And this one too claimed that black jazz musicians were using weed to seduce white women and make them dance to satanic jazz. And literally, like, I mean, the only people that we hear talking about it were like, you know, white people in the media back then. But like, literally, they said that black musicians had an unfair advantage because it helped slow down the whole process of like playing a guitar.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, just so fucking.
Hey,
stupid.
look at the motherfucking the beatniks, the motherfucking the Cat's Pajamas. Yeah, Jack. Those motherfuckers in the 20s and the 30s, the jazz musicians, they smoked weed. That they're reefer heads, and like it made sense because you listen to their music, it was out there, bruh. It was super innovative for what what people it created a whole new genre. You know what I mean? Jazz.
And Chase isn't being racist. Like that's something that we've literally heard now on multiple documentaries and things like that and stuff that's came out. And yeah, they didn't only state black people; it was like black and Mexicans. Like it was the black.
Okay, listen to this. If it's all the way down to the little things, like you ever play a video game high and just be feeling it, bruh? Or like shooting pool, just be feeling it. You know what I mean? Shooting hoops. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, like whenever it's something you got to get dialed in. Even fucking on weed, that's the best, bruh. It's the only way to do it. You know what I mean? Just it's a performance enhancing drug, bruh. You know what I mean? When you smoke marijuana, both sides of the brain work simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking awesome. Like why? You know what I mean? Like
is the classic Cat Williams quote.
Don't give me that shit about it's a drug. It ain't no motherfucking drug. I done the research. It's just a plant. It just grows like that. And if you just happen to set it on fire, there are some effects.
So now I'm curious if this Truth, Justice, and Honor is like a troll or if he's like really serious with all this stuff.
Hey, you want to know what? A motherfucker said this. And this is a lie right here. A motherfucker said, money don't grow on trees. That motherfucker was a liar. Because once everybody started finding out that motherfucker was a liar, they said, man, we need to legalize it in our state too. Because they looked at Colorado, California, Washington. All these motherfuckers was making billions off this shit. You know what I mean? Sure. Oregon, all these motherfuckers that crossed over in the West Coast.
And it's versatile. You could do hundreds of things with it. You can make clothes, make paper, make medicine, anything.
You do know that's how marijuana got put on the motherfucking Schedule 1 for so long, right? Is because back in like the 20s or whatever it is with Rockefeller and all those motherfuckers, right? So Rockefeller, he owned the kerosene. I mean, he controlled all the markets that had anything to do with propane or oil or whatever the fuck, right? So the kerosene, gas lamps, he fucking monopolized that shit, right? And then like he had a buddy that had the most popping paper mill. You know what I mean? This motherfucker provided the whole fucking nation with their paper. All the stuff that needed made out of paper, he did it. And then here comes this wonder plant, hemp. Motherfucking hemp. You can make everything with it. Paper, you can make oil with it.
And you know what the dopest thing about hemp? It literally just grows by itself. You literally just have to water it, and it could be grown in damn near any temperature.
So check this out. They got scared that this wonder plant is going to destroy the oil market for him for kerosene, I should say.
Because it was way fucking cheaper.
Yeah, it would be cheaper, easier to produce. And then you had like clothes that were super durable, paper that was hella better. You know what I mean? An abundance and a fuck ton load of this hemp. You know what I mean? Instead of having to like drill into the ground and do all this shit. Or even chop trees. You know what I mean? Like to make the paper. So listen, this was about to put them out of business. So they said, all right, all the blacks and Mexicans and all because they're the ones that's bringing it over. They're trying to blame the Mexicans for bringing it over. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, all right, cannabis too, that shit. Yeah, that's hemp too. We're going to Schedule 1, all of it together. You know what I mean? So they use the propaganda, the bad propaganda of marijuana being like, a fucking, a drug that all the fucking, the crazy Mexicans and black people use, and they lose their mind. And you know what I mean? Like
one story that I was always told by a couple of my family members after I got into the 420 scene. They were like, this has been in our family forever. Your grandpa used to run, he was selling weed during the Great Depression.
There you go. Hey, listen. Hey, most people didn't work for the government. You didn't have no legit job when you were into prohibition. Because, man, everybody's trying to get their hands on selling some type of liquor. If you were a minority and you have means like going back to Mexico and getting all kind of tequila or whatever the fuck, bring that shit back, he's balling. Going back to Mexico, get all type of tree. You know what I mean? Like, you had to know the Native Americans back in those days. if you were in the great states.
Hell yeah. And Big BS shouted out a little bit earlier, said, yep, outlawed hemp production, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was all, so that's what happened to weed. You know what I mean? Because Rockefeller, isn't that crazy? It was like some shit that Rockefeller did a motherfucking goddamn hella, like a damn near a century ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, we're barely, I mean, obviously how long has Cali been in it? 96?
96, it went medical. And then it still took 22 more years, 2018, before it went 100% legal.
I got my first card in 2005. And I already had known people that had a card for a couple years by that point. But it took, and matter of fact, it was my pops. It was my pops' boy, my Uncle Ronnie. This dude knew a doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, because Ronnie would come through and have the rope. I'd be like, oh, where'd you get this, bro? Because, I was in the game. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard rope in a minute. I don't hang out around too many Bay Area people besides you.
Really?
That rope.
That's that rope. He would come through with the rope. I mean, like, you know what's crazy? That definitely derives from Oakland.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so much it derives from the Bay Area and Oakland and the town. And I mean, just got a lot of swag and making up the, making up the whole difference.
Making up all the isms. Hey, we had this guy. His name was the Mac Minister. He's actually the one who avenged Mac Dre's death.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But anyways, the Mac Minister, he would be like, he didn't rap. He was just a real gangster, but he had like this code of ethics and morals, you know what I mean? So he would get on the mic and on interludes and shit on people's albums. He'd be like, I am the Mac Minister. I have been sent by the Mac God. Beware of the suckerism virus. The virus is contagious. Like, he would just get on there and talk some real Mac shit. You feel me? And he was heavy in the streets. He had hella bitches. All the shit was a real Mac. You know what I mean? And then when Mac Dre died, and the streets talk, bro. We knew who it was. And he kidnapped that dude and his bitch. And when he had the bitch set him up, but he ends up murking both of them, bro. It was like, it was the dude's name. If y'all want to look this up, it's a crazy ass story, man. Mac Dre was allegedly murdered by Fat Tone, and Fat Tone was a rapper.
City, right?
Yep, Kansas City, and the Bay really fucked with Kansas City. But you know what I'm saying, Mac Dre.
It was one of the bigger outlets where a lot of shit was being funneled to, right?
Yeah, especially it's like what's the word I'm looking for? How if you're in the Bay, you know what I'm saying? LA is a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Kansas City. I mean, we're from the Bay now. I mean, not now, but we're from the Bay to the point where, you know what I mean? There's somebody from the Bay in the middle of everything. You know what I mean? Like, you go out to the A, or motherfuckers is coming out here because this in the context of what we're talking about with the tree. You know what I mean? People will come out this way and send it home. You know what I mean? Hey, that shit was crazy. Was that me?
No. Yeah, I remember. I got my card in 2004, and it was crazy because that's when literally everything medical wise started coming to the table. Because I remember being I swear it was a couple months after my birthday when I turned 18, where High Times comes out with this big medical marijuana issue and highlighting all the medical marijuana states. And I think there was only maybe 8 of them at the time or something, maybe 6. I don't even know. I can't remember in 2004. It wasn't that many. And then me and 2 of my homies who, that we were the crew that was always smoking together and shit before and after school and stuff. And so we're like, man, we got to get on a mission to find one of these doctors. And the Bay Area was really the only place where you could go into a place, not have cancer, but actually have some other ailments where they'd write you a, recommendation for it. Not a prescription, recommendation. But by the time summer came around, because that's when we were going to go, I mean, it would have been, really hard to go during the year, during the school year. But at the summer, my friend, he goes up to San Fran. He meets, this cool ass Jamaican doctor, and he was like, "You got to come to San Diego. We need you out there." And he came down, and I was able to get my card.
Check this out. is so dope because there's like Rasta is a culture. Rastafari is a culture.
They got Rasta churches.
I was just about to say that. So out here, all the Rasta churches are dispensaries, and so you don't pay tax when you buy from them. You know what I mean? But their prices are, their selection is never big. And it all, but you know what I'm saying? And they are waxing themselves. Like they're waxing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still like, you know what I mean? They selling grams for like, 25 or 30, just straight up. You know what I mean? Of like, the runs and stuff like that. So it's like they're caking up, but it's because they're a religion. There's no tax. You know what I mean?
I like that. And I've been hearing more about these Rasta churches like popping up.
And you could burn up in the sermon. You can go sit.
That's half the point of it though, is a safe space. Cause like it's crazy. I was seeing these magazines where like in Jamaica, there's little kids that are smoking, but it's part of that culture, part of the church.
Because when you smoke the sesame, right? Here's the thing: is like, you know what I'm saying? It's meant for you to see with your third eye. I mean, marijuana is a very, very low. I mean, I'll say the ganja. What they're fucking with is extreme low psychedelic. You know what I mean? Or not psychedelic, hallucinogen. Because marijuana is a mild form of hallucinogen. You know what I mean? Because we've had. I mean, you remember blue dots? I really felt like they called it blue dots because like you would rip that shit and then choke and then see blue dots. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, I digress. My point is, like, you know what I mean? The whole Rasta culture is third eye vision. That's why everything is like hella colorful and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty tight. Shout out to my man's G. He's out there in the A. You know what I mean? Just speaking on his context, he's one of those guys I went state to state with on adventures. You know what I'm saying? In the marijuana endeavors. You know what I mean? And me and my man's, bro, like, so his mom's a Jamaican. Like, he's like straight up, like, straight bummer clock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how she talks type of shit. You know what I mean? And like, he's from DC, and he was born and raised there. So he's first generation born motherfucker. But he goes out to Jamaica and he said it's so crazy because they smoke these big ass. They're just, you know what I mean? And like, he has a little backwood or like some cookie or something. And
crazy as fuck.
Bruh, he was like, I let my mans out there hit that shit, bro. He died, bro. Like that motherfucker was just gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're not on. I mean, shit, like most of their shit just outdoor grown, I mean, who knows if anything's even hydro, out there. I'm sure they do have some, but there's almost like no point because it doesn't matter how good the weed is because to them, that's the whole culture is just like,
just pulling on
the sesame. Yeah, you got those fat ass Cheech and Chong doobies that they be smoking, like that kind of shit.
Speaking of Cheech and Chong, everybody check out the motherfucking, it's live on the goddamn streaming platforms right now.
Yeah, go to ssbpod.com and go check it out. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, literally everywhere that you can get a podcast. And this shit was so funny. It was me and Bogard doing mushrooms and watching a bunch of scenes from Cheech and Chong's next movie. You want to go?
Yeah, hold on. We're not just watching the scenes. We're breaking it down, bro.
Oh, we're watching and breaking it down. Yeah, Antonio said, I'm back. My bad. Was at work. Yeah, I figured it was early for you. I mean, I know you work early and get off early.
Hey, aren't y'all doing it? Listen, give me the number. I'll make the phone call, bro. We're going to put an end to this.
He might be off work now. It's 12 out there. And,
it's because I made the phone call. How about that?
What were you saying, AJ?
I was going to say, aren't y'all doing another mock draft today?
Yeah, another mock draft going down. And let me
what time is it at?
It's at 2 West Coast time. So that's 4 Central, 5 Eastern. Yeah, let me create.
I'll be working.
It's gonna be Superflex IDP.
Don't forget 11 Hawaiian time.
Is it 11 Hawaiian time?
I think so.
No, I think they're only 2 hours behind us now. Man, I always get confused.
1 o'clock.
Hawaii and Arizona, they're the smart ones. They don't change their
They don't do the thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's Arizona farming? See, that was
Yeah,
the
there
thing.
is
It's like they changed for daylight saving, because I always wondered this, and I asked my dad one time when I was a grown ass man at this point. I said, "What the fuck is? Why do they do daylight saving?" He said, "Because back in the days, you know, saying they wanted more hours out of the fucking slaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, you know what I mean? Okay, and this is like during the big industrial era boom. You know what I mean? Like where you got hella colored folks. They're the ones out there fucking doing all the farm work. You know what I mean? And now you have massive fields, you know what I'm saying? Because it's industrial type shit now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agriculture, there you go, my bad. The agriculture era, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There you
All right,
go.
I'm dropping the link in the
Bogey, are you in the best ball tournament?
Yeah, I'm in 3 of them joints. I know I'm in the Willie Beeman, and I'm in the Forrest Gump.
Yep.
And I don't know the other one I'm in, but
I'm
listen,
just
bro,
in the
let's just stop talking about it, because I'm about to just win, bro.
You're gonna win? We'll see. Maybe we'll go live for a little bit of that draft.
Best ball. My best ball team.
And
is
you're
so
in the
terrible.
and you're in the Jonathan Moxon. That's the one that Guccini and Spencer and
Gemmo.
Peacock, Gemmo. Yeah. When I so he hit me up on Twitter because I posted about it. He's like, "What's this tournament all about, bro?" And I was like, "Man, it'd be dope if you got in," because I was like, Bogey, Spencer, Guccini, Peacock, we're all in one division.
I went on that one. Switch me in.
Yeah, that one was one that fucking filled up quick. But we're gonna get so AJ really wants to do make sure that he's in a league with us, that we do a draft on YouTube, where a bunch of us are live, talking shit during the draft, and we got to figure out which one that's gonna be. But
I mean, we got redrafts that we're doing. I mean, we got the DX League, the D Generation X League,
14-teamer,
a 14-teamer. You know what I mean? Single QB. It's probably the only single QB that we're ever gonna host. You know what I mean? But it's a 1 point for every 15 passing yards. So the QBs are like a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have 8 IDPs.
Yeah, because this year we're bumping it up. Because last year, I mean, a lot of people
6.
I don't even think we had 6. I think we only had 4.
Yeah, no, we had 6. We had 1 of
leagues?
each. We have 1 of each, then 3 flex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this year we'll do 2 of each,
and then 1 or 2 flexes,
and 2 of each, and 2.
Then how many skill positions? So y'all are doing 8 spots of IDP?
2 each and 2 flex. Yeah.
Yeah, and what
is that? What we're doing?
Yeah,
we can do 3 flex. I'm down with that.
I mean, seeing with the 14-teamer, I mean that just makes it a little bit more crazier, and I like it. Give people the challenge, especially since it's non-super flex. And
are there still going to be receivers and running backs?
Oh yeah. It's not going to be IDP only, so it's going to be a single QB. So what I'm
down to make that a super flex though.
I mean, shit, like that. That's when it gets wild. I mean, the whole point of that one was one league where
because you know what I mean. Like the whole point of that one was who was it?
Well, there was
was it Taco? Oh no, we all wanted to get in some type of league because we kept doing these mock drafts with everybody. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're like, man, let's do a fucking league, because that was like the last league we did. You know what I mean?
And there was a few who they didn't want to do IDP and Superflex for the first time. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And so we made that one a single QB because we added in IDP. And it was more important for me to get people playing IDP than make it a Superflex.
Yeah, I'm on the clock right now. You know what's so
This will be my first IDPs.
This is gonna be a good intro to it, and especially being best ball, maybe you get 4 or 5, IDP players, then you never have to worry about who you're starting or anything. It just automatically, gets thrown in there.
Is it 2 flex, right?
2 flex, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just say this, man. Fucking the IDP shit, when you do deeper leagues, the hella makes it more interesting.
Oh yeah.
Like the 14 teams, it's already rough, if you have a bad draft. But with IDPs, it's just there's no way, nobody's top heavy if you're doing it right. You know what I mean? Everybody can build a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and really, my advice to anyone who's never done it is just don't punt a position.
So, in a league like that, what's the earliest you've seen someone take a defensive player?
Shit. Taco busted a defensive player off in the 3rd round. It was his first time in IDP, and he definitely jumped too high for it. But we see it happen randomly. I see it. here and there. Usually it's like 5th or 6th round.
It's
That's
just
a little
like
more realistic.
it's just like any
I
other.
feel like when on defense, there's a lot more variety, so I feel like I'd want to wait a little longer to grab who I'm gonna grab.
That's the conception.
In the best ball league, everyone will be able to wait. But in a league where we have 6 starters or 8 starters, you can't wait forever.
No, because everything's tier based. You could have the killer offense, but that means your defense might be a little weaker. Because this is how it is. It's just like any other draft. You got to read that room. You got to read the room. What's it looking like in this room? You know what I mean? Hey, there might be one motherfucker. Like, I love it when someone jumps up first. Oh shit, he pulled off TJ Watt. And then because if it don't start a run, then you don't have to trip. You know what I mean?
Pull off a Parsons.
Here's one thing right here.
They usually let the top 2 of the top guys go in because now they both have DL eligibility, so it's almost kind of like a cheat code on sleeper for those guys.
Mm-hmm. It's a motherfucking me. I'd be fine.
So I imagine the most important positions in IDPs are like linebackers, defensive linemen.
Here's the thing. I'll find the cheap versions though. You know what I mean? The black Josh Allens, the motherfucking Quincy Williams, like guys like that are like they have dual designations and they're gonna eat. You know what I mean? Like, but then because I still want those big dog LBs. You know what I mean? I still want
at least have one. You gotta have one of like the top 12 or 13 guys.
Yeah, like I got Fred Warner. It was a little homerish. I've been in a lot of drafts where like I was happy to get Isaiah Simmons instead of Warner because someone would always take Warner prior to, you know what I mean? Because it's like I love Fred Warner, but like Isaiah Simmons, we haven't really seen it yet. Like his ceiling is still coming. I feel like this is gonna be that big year, the third.
So the consensus number 1 player is TJ Watt, right?
Or Micah Parsons. I feel I think that those are 1A and 1B for everyone, and it's because they're linebackers who can play the DL spot,
and they're coming off of double-digit sacks and just hella amazingness.
I think Micah's season's gonna be like a carbon copy of what it was last year because I feel like they're still gonna be like not wanting to play him at defensive lineman as much because
you got to move him around. They're going to move him around if they continue to do. I mean, here's another thing though. They got rid of some cats too. So, I mean, they're probably still going to intend on having him off the edge, and they're going to play him linebacker. They're going to have him standing up. They're going to have him with his hand in the dirt. Like they're going to do everything with him. You know what I mean?
I really think he regresses in the sack column.
I do too, but I do think they're gonna still.
I think he gets his first. I think he gets a pick or 2 this year though, because last year he had his hands on a couple that he dropped, but I don't think that's the case.
Are you a Cowboy fan?
Huh?
You're a Cowboy.
Am I a Cowboys fan?
You're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm a biased Cowboy fan. I'm not like
take off the blinders, man.
I'm a biased Cowboys fan. I'm not.
So Stu's the one who sent you.
I've never once said in the past 5 years that the Cowboys are going to Super Bowl or anything like that.
And Micah Parsons, I feel he regresses. I still think he hits double digits, but I think he only gets to 10. If he doesn't mix in any interceptions, I mean, he's going to go down a little bit because I don't see him improving crazy on the tackles.
I mean, I think he's. It's like we want with Dan Quinn, we want him to be like a cross between Michael Bennett and Bobby Wagner, just like combined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like because Bobby Wagner used to rack up hella sacks, and not Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett rack up hella sacks. Then Bobby Wagner, he would rack up a few sacks too.
I think the Cowboys losing. I think the Cowboys losing Randy Gregory is what really like diminished the season Micah Parsons really could have had. In my opinion, because if Randy Gregory was still there, then they wouldn't have to worry as much as Micah could be anywhere. You could rush him anywhere instead of having him in the one spot where Randy Gregory was probably going to be when they rush him.
Well, they got rid of Gregory. Yeah, he went to the Broncos. The Broncos is going to be low key. I mean, not even.
The Broncos are going to be stacked on defense.
Their defense was solid last year. Just the offense always fucked them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Broncos defense is going to be nasty.
So who's the defensive player to have from the Broncos? Gregory? You think Gregory's going to put up a lot of points?
I mean,
from there?
It's really like they're all value. Like I bet you the highest drafted is probably Bradley Chubb and or Justin Simmons. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
like
was gonna say Simmons,
Justin
too.
Simmons plays more like what does he play? Like a free safety?
Free safety, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't really want free safeties in
Or
in
you don't think
IDP.
people are drafting Surtain?
Huh?
You don't think people are
Well,
drafting Surtain?
people are going to be drafting him. I mean,
Yeah,
for fantasy, he's not the type of guy that you want for fantasy.
No.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean, unless he gets like a crazy amount of interceptions, but even that, he's not going to get a lot of tackles. Like that.
Yeah.
That's really what holds him back.
Because he might in year 2, he might quickly become. Look at who he has to play. He has to play twice against Devontae Adams.
They do.
He has to play. This is my point. He's going to play against a bunch of good big name receivers. If he's shutting these guys down, people won't even throw him the ball. So you don't even want to start that guy because how is he even going to get tackles, let alone if he can't get a pick, if the ball's not getting thrown at him? That's why I never what's funny is before that used to be Jalen Ramsey. You don't want Jalen Ramsey in IDP, but now that he's older, quarterbacks aren't afraid to go at him. And he doesn't shadow anymore too. He just stays on one side. So he's playing against multiple different types of receivers in one game. So he gets tested. And because of that, he gets a lot of tackles now. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy.
So a Surtain last year, he only what did he start? He started 15 games, but he only had 58 tackles. Like that's and only 45 solos. That's really what's going to hold him back because he did have 4 interceptions. He's got to get a lot more if that's the tackles that he's going to be getting. He got 14 pass deflections, which a pass deflection you actually get it's like a solo tackle and an assisted tackle combined. But he only had 14 of those. Like he needs way more.
See, here's the thing. When it comes down to his production, it's gonna get better because that front 7, you know what I'm saying? They brought in DJ Jones, they brought in Randy Gregory, you know what I mean? So they're hoping that this front's gonna be like better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like better at.
So who would y'all say is the most valuable rookie in IDP this season?
So this year the rookies, I mean,
I'd probably say Hamilton. Hamilton and or what's the buddy from got drafted to Detroit? What's his name?
Which one went to Detroit? I don't know. I'm super high.
The pass rush, the white boy.
Oh, Hutchinson.
Yeah, and Hamilton.
It's really gonna be, Hamilton, Hutchinson. I think Walker and Thibodeau. I mean, they'll be viable pieces, but I'm not gonna overdraft a rookie. Like, there's no point to do that. I mean, I'm curious to see how high.
Hey, that's who Titans just drafted. He just drafted Thibodeau, right?
Let me see. I'm not sure.
Because he right before me, I woke up. I'm on the clock. You know what I mean?
Thibodeau went to the Giants.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep, he did just draft them. Crazy. Blake Martinez and Thibodeau going back to back, 2 Giants in our draft.
Wow, that's too expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it depends because, like, if he flops like Chase Young did, and I mean, for fantasy, I'm not talking real life.
Yeah, because even Chase Young, I pass on Chase Young most of the time because, like, he's not gonna give me not too many tackles. Like, and I'm gonna need double digit, sacks at him, and like after year 2, you're getting double teamed.
And seeing like in college, Chase Young was like a man amongst boys, but in the NFL, he's just a man amongst a bunch of other men, and that's really what it is. That we expect that crazy dominance to continue, but when you're going up against like veterans and they're bigger than you or just as big as you, and they got better technique than you because you're just still really raw. I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm probably not going to have Hutchinson like anywhere in any of these.
But see, Hutchinson going to play. He's going to play linebacker too. He's going to get tackles. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to play linebacker.
No. Okay, how about this? My bad. Let me rephrase that. He's not going to play linebacker. He's going to get tackles though.
He'll drop in coverage. He's not just going to rush the passer.
Yeah.
So he's going to.
That was some high shit.
He might be like kind of a mix of Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson because like Trey Hendrickson's the one who's always getting after the QB.
Y'all are gonna get me obsessed with the defensive side.
It's fun, man. It's fun. Watch when you actually watch football now. You're gonna be like such a nerd about like that's my player's number. Like you just start remembering numbers. You'll see the tackles.
I usually pay attention to the defense. I've just never paid attention to like playing fantasy football for the defense.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Before I did IDP, my man was just like, man, you already, you'll know it, bro. He's like, it's all the people that you already study. Because I would study cornerbacks and safeties and this and that, you know. But here's the thing is like, I had it wrong the first time I played. I was getting all the shutdown corners, and it's, you know what I mean. I had it wrong. You know what I mean? Like
matters in the tackle.
I didn't realize linebackers were the key until like I realized, damn, I don't got too many linebackers. You know what I mean? You know, that was my first year. I was like, okay, the linebackers eat. You know what I mean?
Yep, and they didn't put. I mean, in redraft, see that's what kind of sucks. Like nobody wants to help anybody in redraft. You know, like Dynasty is a little different, but yeah, because I remember a couple of my drafts when it was like when Richard Sherman and Darrelle Revis and shit. You know, when they were like these shutdown corners. You know, like not and guys were getting like 2 or 3 of them on the same team, and
it's a wasted pick.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you feel bad about it. It's almost like. Man, I'll tell you the funniest shit that ever happened in a live draft. So back when everybody was in my league and everyone lived in the town, you know, everyone was in San Diego, we were always having the live draft. I mean, back when, I was maybe 22 or 23, we were doing it at my parents' house because they got a pool and a barbecue and shit outside. It was just nice and easy, you know, summer draft.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just real dope. And then that upgraded to a whole bunch of different shit. But the funniest shit was one dude. All right, so what the hell was his name? I'm trying to think. Kiko Alonso. Okay, so when Kiko Alonso was a rookie, we got to go back a couple years for this.
Yeah. With the
Buffalo Bills.
No, the Bills.
Yeah. Got to go back to when he was on the Bills.
Yeah.
So nobody knew
2014.
It might have been. I can't. No, probably it was even
13.
before that. Yeah, even before that. And I remember getting
him
2013. Getting him as a rookie on the waiver wire, like week 1 or whatever, you know, and picking up an LB1 that leads me to like a, you know, competing in the playoffs and a championship. So the next year he gets hurt in the preseason. My one of my friends has not really done any research or anything.
Yeah,
on people getting injured. This is when everything's not available like it is now. Like, you gotta search out the research. It doesn't just come to you. You know, and so he goes up and he like throws Kiko Alonso up on the board. He's like, Kiko Alonso. And like, he doesn't know that he got hurt and he comes back. He's all smiling. He's like, you like that pick, bro? Fucking dope pick, huh? And I just put my head down like this. And then one of my other friends was like, you know, he got hurt and he's out for the season, right? And he's like, what the fuck? No, you gotta change that pick.
It's like, yo, bro, you got that. You fucked up. Hey, this happened to me one morning. It was a week where like I had been mocking all week and I've been getting a ton of Damian Williams since 2018, right? And like getting a ton of Damian Williams with the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And then like it was a draft we were doing, and like I'm in the 4th round of a super flex, and I had Nick Chubb only. So I'm like, I'm getting Damian Williams in the 4th round. I'm like, hell yeah, you motherfuckers is tripping. And then like, you know what I mean? I'm hella hyping it. Like, you know, they signed Shady McCoy this morning, right? I'm like, fuck. And that shit really fucked him up all year, man. Then he got hurt. He got hurt too, but still, I had all of Damian Williams, bro. And I was hyped.
Damn it.
My boy drafted Bell 1-1 the year he held out.
Dude,
okay, I think I picked him drafting him like 1-3, maybe.
Damn.
I had him in one league, and
you know what I did?
Back then, that's when Antonio Brown was fantasy gold.
I just grabbed James Conner everywhere that year, like just at the end, like, you know what I'm saying, double digits, like just it depended where we were drafting, right? If you were drafting, it was like preseason or whatever, people still believed that he was coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because James Conner, I mean, shit, he was a waiver wire pickup in a lot of these leagues.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I had to have him, bro, because we were about to see it week 1. It was against they were playing the Browns week 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's always shit like that happens. I mean, that's why if you have a real important league, you really try to hold it off until after week 3 of that preseason because
check this out.
Julian Edelman, Spencer Ware. I mean, we've seen Jordy.
Spencer. Hey, listen. Speaking of Spencer Ware, right? You remember when Jamal Charles, he was coming off that ACL, and they were like, "Oh, he's gonna be ready for week 1. This is that and the third." Like I remember, I was fucking with this podcast, and it was it was some kind of Chiefs fucking insider or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, I fully don't expect Jamal Charles to play any preseason, and I won't be shocked if he starts the year on the pup."
Damn.
You know what I mean? And like this was like really hot. I was like, "Well, I ain't never heard that nowhere, seen it anywhere."
Yeah.
But like, so I just grabbed Spencer Ware everywhere. You know what I mean? Because Spencer Ware was the guy that like he filled in after Charkantrick West went down the year prior to that.
Yeah.
And like he overtook Charkantrick West on the depth chart. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get. And I sometimes I'd let some of the homies in on it, like, hey, you know, you gotta get late. Spencer Ware, bro. They're like, who, the fullback? I'm like, no, trust me, bro. Like they got him playing running back, right? Like, you know, and he was the guy to have 2016.
Yeah.
So it's like I had a ton of Le'Veon Bells because Le'Veon Bell was like he was suspended that year. So it was like, you know, so I was like gonna miss the 3. Was it 3 games or 4?
It was 3.
It was 3, right? And like, and so I would pick up D'Angelo Williams and I had Spencer Ware.
Man, if you had that Lev Bell, D'Angelo Williams combo, which I got that combo in like so many leagues and was just like shitting on people because he didn't miss a beat. I mean, he wasn't Lev Bell, but he was an RB1 for those first 3 weeks.
Yeah, bro. And you know what's crazy is like when he went down that year, eventually, then it was like, hey, oh no, was that the 2015 year when he went back down? That's right.
I think
because
so.
2016 he made it through the whole year.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a big year. Yeah,
the 2015 year, that was that year. Hey, listen, because he went back down again, and then D'Angelo Williams closed like the last 5 games out strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
D'Angelo's always been one of the elite 2 backs ever. With him and Jonathan Stewart
that was nasty.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they were a tandem, they didn't have as much wear and tear as they would, so they were able to like go be long in the tooth, still playing the position. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's those kind of backfields that really like changed the NFL because I mean there wasn't too like back then. I mean,
that's what makes me scared to grab Gibson so early because Ron Rivera says that he wants that type of tandem.
The Bills, the Patriots, the Carolina Panthers, those are all teams that ran like committee or timeshares. You know what I mean?
Jacksonville, also notorious.
Jacksonville, that's right.
Fred Taylor and MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew. That was a
nasty. Oh yeah, and then Tennessee had
Lendell White and Lendell White.
There you go. I was about to say it's some kind of color. It's like green or I was gonna be wrong. You said like Lendell White.
Yeah.
I never can remember that motherfucker. But I remember him. You know what I mean?
And that was the real like thunder and lightning, right there. Because man, I mean, Lendell was just a banger, and Chris Johnson, I mean, shit, like
he's gone.
You ain't catching him.
Pew.
And you know who was crazy for a while was the Giants backfield. Like there winning the fucking Super Bowl.
Barber.
Well, I mean, Barber wasn't even one of the Super Bowl.
Oh shit, that's right. He was gone already.
Was Jacobs or
yeah, there was one. Jacobs was one of them, and I can't remember. And then,
and the second one,
it was like Ahmad Bradshaw, and like there was 3 of them.
Oh, Bradshaw. Yeah,
3 of them. I'm gonna look that up because that was like a crazy ass trio. That was almost as crazy as like the Chargers, LT, Michael Turner, Darren Sproles. Like that was one of the nastiest trios out there.
So who do y'all think is the best running back tandem today?
Tandem?
Shit.
I'll probably say like
Chubb and Hunt.
I'd say Chubb and Hunt's on paper the best, yes, but like we haven't really like Hunt just he be getting banged up. Yeah, I will agree with that. That's the best
Aaron Jones and Dillon.
I'd say that's a close second. You know what I mean? And then Melvin Gordon and Javonte, like, you know what I mean? Like now they're gonna be in the same system. They're gonna be in the same system that AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones was in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so they're definitely gonna be a 1-2 punch. Like, of course, we all imagine. I mean, we could all assume that motherfucking Javonte.
I have a sleepy one. I have a sleepy one that could emerge. So how do you feel about
Breece Hall, Michael Carter for the win?
No, I was gonna say, what if Mostert came back 100% healthy and Mostert and Edmonds in Miami?
Nah.
I
think. Hey, listen. I think the running backs are gonna eat. they're just not going to be consistently eating because this is a creative.
That's why I said sleepy.
Mastermind of the run game. You know what I mean? With
I think Hall and
Mike.
Michael Carter could be something because Michael Carter was promising and Brees Hall is the
Listen,
best
Michael
overall
Carter
back to
and
come out of
Brees
the
Hall is
draft.
going to be like, they're going to be a thing. It's just, we just need the Jets to be a thing. Like, the defense has to be good, and Zach Wilson, we have to expect him to take a step forward. Like, I actually got a little too overzealous as I do on the bright, brand new shiny toy. Because I've done things to acquire Brees Hall. I've even drafted him in some of these rookie drafts, you know what I mean, or some of these startups. And then in hindsight, I'm like, damn, I really need them to take a step forward. They're the Jets, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because then or else the running back, or else if Michael Carter is that pass catching back or that guy, like you're playing in hurry up because you're losing double digit deficits, you know what I mean? Like, it might not be Brees Hall like that, you know what I mean? So there's ways I could think where, you know what I mean, I shouldn't have got overzealous on it, but I think that's like a poor man's version though. Is Brees Hall, Michael Carter this year? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes me nervous because Zach Wilson, I mean, he wasn't really checking it down. You know, White Mike, I mean, he was checking it down like nobody's business, and like that was like
shout out to
fun.
White Mike, the
That
great
was
white hope.
That was fucking fun when he was out there because he was actually giving everybody in the running back, backfield catches, and it was fucking awesome. Michael Carter and fucking Ty Johnson were both coming down with like 5-6 a game. Like that shit was dope. But Zach Wilson, that remains to be seen. Like, hopefully, I mean, I know in the NBA, there's some guys who may just work on their free throw all off season or work on that 3-pointer, all off season. He better be working on fucking checking these balls down because it wasn't even that he wasn't doing it. It was he was bad when he was doing it. He threw it into like Ty Johnson's back or Michael Carter's back. Like, like I'll never.
It was Ty Johnson. Hit him right in the name.
Like, come on, man.
Well, I think everybody knew that Zach Wilson was the most likely, was the most QB that was most likely to bust out of the class that came out of last year.
Yeah,
well,
I only got him in Dynasty. I didn't fuck with him in redraft.
I have a Dynasty as a fourth quarterback.
I have him
exactly.
Out of 10 leagues, I have one Zach Wilson share in the Superflex, and
what up,
I have more Davis Mills shares than I have Zach Wilson shares.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same. I cannot. I think I got either 2 or 3 shares of Zach Wilson. Where
the only one I want to share of is Trey Lance. I have 0 shares of Trey Lance.
I have more. I have more testicles than I do shares of Zach Wilson.
So you don't even have one, huh?
I just have one.
And let me see here. Oh, and so people are hitting me up about the best ball tournament and stuff. It's crazy because I might have to add another division because so many more people hit me up that it might just start another division just to get people in it.
Might have to throw me in one more entry.
Hey, it's getting wild out here, man. It's fucking awesome. So I know that for whoever
it's still early. See if you can open up a couple more divisions.
Yeah, we got to get everyone.
We're about to fire this thing up in like a week, though, right?
Yeah. So like, I'm shooting for a lot of them starting on July 2nd. That's a Saturday. So that's, I mean, a little less than 2 weeks from now, or yeah.
Okay, word.
Around 2 weeks from now. Let me see. Yeah, and yeah, what would it be? Yeah, week and a half from now. We got to get everyone paid. That's really what it is, because I feel like out of all these people, I mean, it's probably like maybe like half paid right now, and a bunch of people are telling me that they're going to when they're going to pay and stuff, but there's still going to be a couple flakes, I feel. So I got a couple people on standby, like just in case.
Oh yeah, word.
But
well, look, man, it should just be first come, first serve with the paying the almighty dollar. You know what I mean? Because you know what, because if you add a couple more divisions, does that mean it adds more money to the payouts, or like how are we gonna do that?
I mean, if it's only one more division, I mean, it's not really. I mean, like some will go up on like the first place, but nothing else. I mean, it's not going to be much money.
Yeah.
So, but it'll make first place a little bit more juicy. So, I mean, anything, and really, I mean, anything that we start, it would really just bump up first and second place. At this point, the rest will probably just stay the same.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, so for everyone who doesn't know, I mean, I don't even know where 100% of the people live who are in this, but we did a little roll call in this big chat, and we got almost all 50 states like covered in the U.S. We got multiple people in Mexico, multiple people in Canada. Canada is probably like the most out of everywhere, like outside
Australia.
of the US. Multiple people in Australia. I think like 3 or 4 people from Australia.
It's a world tour. It's a world tour.
Yeah, this shit's gonna be dope.
It's a fucking war.
A worldwide war.
It's a worldwide war. You signed up for war.
May the best country win. No, I'm just kidding.
This is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm super, super excited because last year it was international, and I know that there was at least one person in the UK. I don't know about Australia, and I know Canada and Mexico were definitely covered, but I don't know. I guess Australia and the UK, you know, just multiple people being in the UK just make it feel like it's super, super big time now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, man. I'm on the clock. I'm fucking torn.
You're on the clock in another draft?
Yeah.
What are your options? What are your options?
Hold on. Huss is like a few steps behind me in this draft, a few picks behind me in this draft. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't really, like, discuss, you know, at length.
Hey,
I think you being before him makes you discuss it.
I'm actually I think I know who I'm going to take here.
I mean, Dawson Knox is right at the top of the queue, so or right at the top of the.
I'm not doing that.
Go with Dawson Knox in 13th, man. That's a good pick.
No, I'll pass.
I'm
going full Bogard here.
Fields. That's an easy question. I'd rather have.
I'm going full Bogard. What are we in round 14?
Wait. Hold on. Look at this. Hess said, breaking news. Watson settled with all except 4 women. I know Hess wouldn't put any bullshit.
What?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hey, listen, bro.
Oh, yesterday we talked shit about the person who drafted Deshaun Watson in the mock, but now today, if that's the case, we're not going to be talking shit if someone drafts him.
This is crazy, dude.
Uh-oh.
Breaking. Deshaun Watson has reached confidential settlements with all but 4 civil lawsuits that were filed against him.
Damn,
that boy's playing this season. Amari Cooper's ADP's about a whoop.
Yeah, and for no reason.
For no reason, yeah. He's gonna just.
Yeah, no one should have the.
He's a home warrior. He's a home warrior.
If Watson plays,
you're such a Cowboy fan.
He's a home warrior.
He's like, oh, he's with the Browns. Yes, he has Watson thrown. You know what though?
Silly white boy. He's in Cleveland. He said, "Let's."
No, I'm saying because right now Amari Cooper's going pretty late compared to where he used to go, and with Deshaun Watson throwing him, that's his number one. Who else is Deshaun Watson going to throw to? Donovan Peoples-Jones isn't going to have 1,000 yards.
No.
Maybe David Njoku emerges, but he's not going to.
Here's the thing. Okay. So hold on. So
maybe David Bell.
Would you say that that Watson, if he plays a whole season, what is he throwing for? 4,000?
If Watson plays the whole season, maybe he's a little rusty. The floor is 4,000, in my opinion. The floor is 4,000.
Okay, so
I think his floor is 25 touchdowns. He might not crack the 30.
And I say he rushes for at least 5.
They are going to run a ton with fucking. It's still Stefanski. Like, let's not pretend. I think it's really just what kind of shootouts he's going to get into, because they're going to be able to control the ball and play action like crazy. So I think maybe 4,000.
This is going to cause a lot.
I think he's throwing like under 4,200. You know what I mean? And that would mean that they're winning. They have a winning season. You know what I mean? And they're killing shit with the run game. You know what I'm saying?
And let's not forget how Deshaun Watson came onto the scene. And what was it? 2 out of 4 years, top 10 QB. You know, just dominating and creating guys like Will Fuller. You know, because we know who the fuck he was.
Yeah, Will Fuller. The 5th. The whole lineage is awful.
Cleveland's team is built to be more win now, so if Deshaun Watson plays, then that division's going to get a lot more interesting than it was going to be.
We've been saying they're a QB away for a few years now, and
I think they're one more wide receiver away too, in my opinion. Having just Amari Cooper and David Bell isn't enough.
Hey, listen, okay, hold on. I want to go back to this real quick. He settled with all but 4. And what have I been saying the whole time, bro? That, like, okay, if there was like 21 cases, right? I was like, listen, I bet you about like 3 or 4 of them are legit, if that. I said the rest of them hoes is just trying to get a bag. That's why he was able to settle with them. Confidential. What does that mean? He's like, okay, listen, I'll pay for your lawyer fees and I'll give you, 50 bands. You know what I mean? He's not breaking nobody off no millions, bro. You know what I mean?
No.
And those other broads that are females that are, the 4 that he hasn't paid out yet, maybe those are the ones that are legit. And even if not, those are the ones that are willing to take it to the bit. You know what I mean? Take it there. You know what I mean? Because at least you could always settle, and then part of the settle could be like that he pays for all the lawyer fees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of those lawyers are probably doing it pro bono right now, and them females don't got no money like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. And
now.
So you're saying something smells fishy, or he actually did something wrong?
Huh?
Do you think something smells fishy, or he actually did something wrong?
Man, he's whipping his thing out, bro. He's meeting. Listen, he's whipping thought. He's meeting thoughts on the IG. That's what's happening, and he's flying through their crib, and they're doing, and it starts off by a little bit of massages, and then he ends up boning them down. That's his thing. Ain't none of these broads, most of them, like majority of them, that on the Instagram, they're not licensed masseuse or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It is some weirdo shit. You know what I mean? But maybe he shouldn't have used that as an excuse. Maybe it was just, you know what I mean? Maybe he shouldn't have used the massage shit as an excuse, or made it look like this is how he meets the women and how he takes them down. And then because he can get painted as being a predator easily, you know what I mean? And to be honest, he still might be that guy. He's just able to pay these hoes off that were clearly just trying to get a bag off him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look at this. Even this, getting the super bag from the Browns. Now he's like, all right, let's pay these hoes off. You know what I mean? Yeah. He got a super bag from the Browns, bro. Guaranteed. 220 something.
Yeah.
They already gave him 40. They gave him 40 as the signing bonus. That's how it's called the cash against the cap. Or cash over cap. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's already 40 in there. See, it's nothing. He's just You know what I mean?
And so Adam Schefter just tweeted, today's developments between Deshaun Watson and his accusers have no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process, per NFL spokesman.
You went live.
So he's still getting suspended.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he was going to get suspended before this or after. We just know it's not fucking good. It ain't looking good as of right now. And Chase said, would you rather have Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? Man, so this one's
Zach Wilson.
Ooh.
I'd rather have Fields.
A lot of times I'm leaning on neither.
I think Chicago is gonna be one of those teams where they'll be like, damn, their defense is good, but their offense sucks. You know what I mean? And there's a good chance if because look at everybody's adopting that Shanahan thumbprint. You know what I mean? Their new offensive coordinator, he was the QB coordinator. He was the QB coach for the Packers the past couple of years. So now he's the OC over there with young Fields. So maybe it's interesting, but not this year to me in fantasy. You know what I mean? I think Fields is a cool third QB to have, but I don't even think you can get him as your third because people still gonna grab him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I just won't have Justin Fields. Zach Wilson too. It's I'll have him as my third. You know what I mean? In super flex.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy. I guess I'd rather have Zach Wilson for the value part of this if I'm picking between one of the two, because
I just think Fields has a better floor than Wilson does.
What'd you say? That Fields has
a higher floor? Fields has a better floor.
Yeah.
Than Wilson does.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Fields plays the whole season, then he's gonna rush for at least over 500 yards, maybe 600 yards.
Well, I guess with Fields,
I can agree with that.
I can too. You got to get him as your QB too. That's what I don't. That's
what
I don't like about
and see,
this.
and that's where I'm not. That's where I'm not fucking with it. Like if I get him as the third QB, he's literally probably like the second guy I have to grab.
Yeah,
he's the second. People are still high on him.
Yeah,
he's not like a sleeper at all. Like people, it's like even like especially we're living in blurb central. This part of the off season, it's all about the blurbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, there's just a bunch of good blurbs on what's his name? Fields in OTAs, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's looking good and this and that. Like, they weren't saying that last year. They're like, oh, he's coming along slow and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, the little stuff like that, people are like, oh, hell yeah, I told y'all. Like, people will find anything to jump out the window for. I'm guilty of that too. You know what I mean?
I'm still gonna stick with what I said last year. I don't think Ohio State quarterbacks translate well to the NFL, and I'm just not gonna overpay for someone that, like, there's no track record of any QB ever coming out of Ohio ever doing anything in the NFL, and I just don't want to pay up to see.
So I have a question. Do you think Lance takes the biggest step forward out of all those quarterbacks?
I don't. I think it's Lawrence. Lance.
Oh, Lance? Yeah, I do.
I feel like a lot of people. Do you think a lot of people are right to be down on Mac Jones? Because a lot of people are down on him, even after because he's not really.
What's the definition of down on him? Like, I'm down.
Like, they're down on him fantasy wise. Fantasy wise, they're down on him. Because he's not really
if I'm
a good
talking like
quarterback.
someone with high, he has just a safe floor. He's not a guy that I don't think like he'll have some big games, but like. Because he's gonna have some big matchups like against the Bills and stuff like that. But like,
I think that getting Devontae Parker actually gives Mac Jones what he needs, just the freedom to just sometimes throw the ball up there to a big body, and hopefully he comes down with it. And if he doesn't, then live to see another day.
Is this an accurate depiction? He's like at least the perception of Mac Jones is he's a poor man, Kirk Cousins.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say he's like, a step above Jimmy. You know what I mean?
I think he's like Mac Jones is on par with
like
I think
he's like
a little
Jimmy
bit.
He's like Jimmy with a bigger arm.
I feel like he's a fine line in between.
Because Jimmy can get the ball out quick. Like they're similar.
He reminds me of Baker a little too.
But I'm
not as fiery, but like his mechanics and.
But I'm talking
not as athletic either.
I'm talking fantasy.
Yeah, like a Jimmy.
Isn't someone who has a super, super high. Well, I mean, for right now, though, Jimmy's not even projected to be a starter. So,
no, I'm saying like, okay, Jimmy in his starting days. Like, what do you expect?
We're talking right now. No, I'm talking like this season.
Oh, this season, who is he comparable to?
Yeah, that's why I said he's a poor man's Kirk Cousins, not a.
I guess, yeah, because if we're looking, see Kirk Cousins, he's like all floor. And he has a high ceiling. That's what's dope about Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always going to get you that floor. But there's a more often than not he can get you some big games because that defense ain't going to handle. You know what I mean? So he's always throwing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why he's a poor man's Kirk Cousins. That's what I'm saying.
This is why I said he's gonna,
I think fantasy wise, Mac Jones is pretty comparable to someone like. This
is why I was saying Jimmy is because what I think the Patriots want to do is just move the ball. Like real methodical down the field by running the ball, and every so often they'll try a deep shot, and then when they get in the red zone, they want to run it a ton. You know what I mean? So he's just one of those QBs that's thinking like he's gonna get the running backs to snake a lot of his touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, and I guess that is a poor man's version of Kirk Cousins because we run that risk with Cousins because they have a Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean?
But I think I'm with Hustler. I think Lawrence takes a bigger step forward. I think last year was not a fluke in a sense, but I just think
it was a fluke. It was Urban Meyer, like a novelty guy. They always said, "Oh,
it was just a lot of pressure too." Everybody was saying he was the next best prospect since.
Everybody said, yeah, for years, for like a decade.
Yeah,
plus. They're talking about Urban Meyer is going to be the best. He's going to be the next big coach in the NFL one day if he ever goes there. He never went, and when he did go, he fucking sucked. You know what I mean? And they had the number 1 pick, and it was Trevor Lawrence. He was doomed from the start there. I think Trevor Lawrence is another one of those guys because it's like a next year guy. Because if you look at his schedule, it's bad. You know what I mean? And like it's still Doug Peterson who has a brand new team again. You know what I mean? I think they're going to lean on the run. So I love ETN and whoever else emerges out of the backfield. You know what I mean? I think Trevor Lawrence is the next year thing.
I mean, 3rd-year leap for someone like him. I mean, yeah, if he's really his best prospect ever, I just think he is going to take the biggest jump out of everyone because Mac Jones.
We're talking fantasy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Always talking fantasy, man. Always talking fantasy.
Yeah, I can
fantasy. I think it's Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance has the most upside to take the biggest jump.
Yeah, because
he's going to be the best offense.
Because it was nothing.
The best offense.
it was nothing last year also, or very minuscule, we can call it that. So if he comes in, he throws for 3,000 yards and runs for 1,000 or something, I mean, that's going to be bigger than anybody could jump.
Yeah, 30 combined touchdowns.
I think if he plays the whole season, no matter what, the rushing yards are a lot. It's up to what he does with.
I just hope he's not a dumbass, because the threat of him rushing is going to open up hella shit down the field too. So like if this gets going, and this works, it's going to work. You know what I mean? Like
he's gonna.
We've seen RG3. We've seen RG3 in this system. We've seen, you know what I mean. Then we've also seen Matt Ryan in the system. Like Shanahan got all different type of isms, bro. Different type of playbooks, bro. So it's like, you know what I mean? This.
I'm totally willing to be wrong on Trey Lance because of the price. Everyone's buying him at his ceiling right now, and I just I'm not going to gamble on that.
Yeah, it is too high. Like, in Dynasty, I want him because I want to have him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In redraft, I'm probably not going to have too much Trey Lance, because especially where I'm at, motherfuckers going to draft him high. You know what I'm talking about?
Top 10 QB or some shit. I mean, he's going as a top 12 already.
They're drafting him as a QB1.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I mean, we haven't seen any inkling of it yet, so I'm not going to draft him as a QB1. And he's going as like QB12. He got in our mock draft yesterday, got drafted above Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. I'm not taking Lance over guys.
See,
like that.
Here's the thing: if hashtag take a chance on Lance, that's one of those ones that a hit. You know what I mean? But it can go terrible. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you spend this capital to acquire him. That's the thing. I might see if he has a slow start and then try to trade for him. You know what I mean? Because that's the Bogard way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, here's
trying to get in a dynasty league with y'all, man. It sounds fun.
I'd be like, here's Davis Mills and something. You know
we've started since
Take
last
Mac Jones
year.
again.
Yeah, I've got Mac Jones as a lot of my QB3 in a lot of these leagues, so I'm not too upset about that.
When I first got the Superflex, I made the mistake thinking that I can wait on quarterback and to just try to take the strategy to build on skill players. But a couple years later, it's like you realize that's not the way. You don't win that way.
You shall learn, my young Padawan.
Yeah, even
I've learned, it's just
even if you have one decent, or one good QB, and then just then you wait on the second one. I mean, I'm okay with that, because as long
the latest I take a quarter, if I'm drafted in the first round and I'm drafted from the 11 or the 12, then I'm probably more.
Okay, hey, Huss, give me George Pickett.
George Pickett.
George Pickens.
George Pickens. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I fucked that. Give me him. I've decided.
All right.
Dynasty, baby. Let's go. I'll win in 3 years. I'm going down the rookie rabbit hole.
You have anybody in any of those dynasty leagues who just has an absurd amount of first round picks next year?
Nah, because I mean, we don't. So all these dynasty leagues that I started creating were. There's a couple from 2020, when COVID started, but most of them started last year. We had 9 that started last year, and then what do we have? 7 that started this year. And people are pretty savvy. They're not just trading away the future like crazy. I think the main person who is trading for these first rounders, he actually exited from the league mid draft. And so the guy who inherited it, he was like, man, why the fuck does this team suck so much? And then he looks at all the drafts, like, oh, I got 5 first round picks for next year.
That's funny. I know exactly what you're talking about, but his name we shall not speak on this program.
Yeah, and but we got a lot. There's a lot of people who are in multiple leagues and that, and it's super fun. It's probably the most fun drafts that you'll ever be a part of. They do last a month, so they're long as hell as far as the drafts. But just imagine being able to get 2 or 3 first round picks if you wanted to be able to. You could do it.
Shit. Hey, I gotta shake. The baby's waking up.
Sounds good, homie. Peace out.
Peace out.
Later.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready to shut this down anyways. But the drafts are just insane, and especially because of the IDP being mixed in, you're getting guys way later than you would be in an offense only. You're in the mid teens, and you're still coming up on guys who are going to be solid starters for you. But yeah, all these leagues that we're doing, they're going to be so dope. So we got the best ball leagues. We got vampire leagues. One's already filled, but we got 3 more. 3 QB leagues. Those are super, super fun. Got the 32 team league, the Marvel Multiverse league.
About half full?
Yeah, we're about half full on that one. I think 15 out of 32 so far. Yeah, that one's going to be super dope. None of us have played in a 32 team league like this. So literally first time for everybody.
So is that league going to be divisions?
Yeah, 4 divisions. It's going to be crazy. 4 divisions of 8. If you win the division, you automatically win some money, and then it's going to be the top 2 in each division that are gonna make it to the playoffs. So it's going to be
a good time.
Yeah. Only 8 out of the 32 are going to be able to make it to the playoffs. Like, it's going to be fucking crazy. Hell yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get up out of here. Before we do, just tell everyone where to go follow you at for all the fantasy stuff.
Y'all can follow me at FFT_fantasy. A lot of stuff on the way. Working on a lot of stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for having me, Hustler.
Hell yeah. And that's on Twitter, right?
That's on Twitter. Yes, sir.
Perfect. And for anyone who's not subscribed to the podcast, just go to hustlerpod.com. Help me move up the charts. Go leave a review. We're doing the signed Ricky Williams jersey giveaway or raffle or whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be happening this Friday. We're going to be doing a mock draft this Friday like we usually do. And we're going to be doing the giveaway like right at the beginning of that. So if you're a Patreon member, you're already in there like swimwear. If you've given any super chats over the last, couple weeks, you got your extra entries. Anyone who leaves a review, if you leave a review on Apple podcast, or if you go leave a rating on Spotify, as long as you screenshot it and text it to me, or DM me or whatever, I'll get you 5 extra entries into the giveaway. So lots of different ways that you can get entries, and we still got like 3 more days that you can rack them up. So, and yeah, live at Sports Talk with Jake. What up, bro? Hey, mock draft at 2 Pacific time, 5 Eastern time. Make sure you tap back in, homie. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
Ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know? Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
VIP me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. It's all a hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.
It's hard out here for a pimp. When he tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.